Yo, what up, guys, man? I'm listening to Skip and Shannon debate Kirk Cousins and if the Redskins, should pay this man or not. And to me, I think Kirk Cousins is a solid starting quarterback, very good backup quarterback. Would I pay him franchise quarterback money like maybe a Matthew Stafford got? First of all, I wouldn't even pay Matthew Stafford, and I think Matthew Stafford is a much more talented starting quarterback. He has a bigger arm. He can make a lot more difficult throws than I think Kirk Cousins can. I think Kirk Cousins is a very streaky quarterback. If you watch him back in Michigan State, he's a guy that gets on a roll and looks amazing in like drives or like certain halves of games, and you're like, man, this guy is a really good quarterback. But then week to week consistency, he's not that guy. Like he doesn't handle the rush well. Like sometimes he can beat the blitz, but sometimes he really can't. And the Redskins were never in contention really to be a playoff team this year. Like I watched them, and I wasn't impressed by what they were doing most of the time. He can win. You can win with Kirk Cousins. The question is he more Matthew Stafford, where you have the possibility to make the playoffs and make some noise, or is he more like Andy Dalton, which Andy Dalton, if you watch him, his numbers are good, but he's just not a good quarterback. He's Joe Flacco with a weaker arm. He's just inconsistent and not a person that's going to win you a game. Kirk Cousins occasionally can win you a game, but that's only if he's playing good that day and things are rolling. He doesn't have the ability to like overcome a lot of things, especially injuries to his offensive players, like a Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers could do. If they have injuries at certain offensive positions, they can just overcome it and get their team to a playoff. Even Andrew Luck as a rookie, you know, had the ability to overcome injuries in his second year, brought his team to the playoffs. I just think, Kirk Cousins had a good season a couple years ago, got him into the playoffs, and everybody thinks he's a pretty good quarterback. His QBR ranking this year wasn't that bad either. I'm like, if you think about it, talk about QBR, he's in the top 20. Actually, he's number 17. But that's what Kirk Cousins is. He's like the 17th best quarterback in the NFL. And if you're gonna pay him franchise money, why would you pay franchise money for a 17th ranked quarterback? You're gonna give him a ton of money like Matthew Stafford or Joe Flacco, and those guys just aren't worth it when you're talking about that much of an investment in the position of quarterback. When you're probably not going to the Super Bowl and you maybe barely can make the playoffs. I'm like, people ranked higher than Kirk Cousins this year are like guys like Tyrod Taylor and Josh McCown, who are ranked 14th and 15th respectively. And I'm not paying those guys either. And Buffalo's definitely not paying Tyrod Taylor. So Blake Boyles, Phillip Rivers, these are guys that I would take over. Actually, Blake Boyles is terrible. Blake Boyles is the worst quarterback probably on this top list. But yeah, I can't see myself saying that I would pay, if I was a general manager, Kirk Cousins. He's just not worth the value. I'm like, being 17th in this league as a QBR this year is pretty bad when you're just barely ahead of Jameis Winston and Cam Newton, who are two quarterbacks that really can't throw the ball effectively or consistently at all. I would rather take Derek Carr over Kirk Cousins, and I'm not a Derek Carr guy. I think him and Kirk Cousins are very similar, but I do believe that Derek Carr has higher ceiling, and I think he will get better. While I think the best of Kirk Cousins, you've probably already seen it, and you're probably just gonna get more of the same mediocre to slash average to slightly above average when things are going well play from Kirk Cousins. So that's my take, and let's get back to Shannon and Skip.
7 and 9. Cousins had 27 touchdowns and 13 interceptions this year. And now Washington has a decision to make. They can franchise him again and pay him over $34 million, transition tag him, sign him to a long-term deal, or let him walk away. Yesterday, Jay Gruden gave some faint praise to his quarterback. Take a listen.
when you're 7-9, you know, it's hard to say, wow, this guy really was outstanding. You know, there's a few guys obviously that jump out, you know, Pro Bowlers like Ryan Kerrigan had a solid year, and obviously Trent when he played was Pro Bowl type, and Brandon when he was healthy was a Pro Bowl type guy. Kirk had his flashes where he's really good from a consistent standpoint over the course of 16 games. You know, we're 7-9. He did some great things, threw for over 4,000 yards and 29 touchdowns, I believe. So, you know, I think he's very, very good quarterback without a doubt. But as far as getting us over the hump from 7-9 to winning division with all the injuries we had, I think he competed, did some good things.
Shannon, how will this play out?
First Cousins got to go. After this right here, hold on. Now, he mentioned Ryan Kerrigan. Ryan Kerrigan of the defense. The 5th worst scoring defense. They were last in rush defense. But he mentioned him by name.
He did.
Okay, Kirk Cousins. He 3rd straight 4,000-yard season. Prior to him, they've only had 2 4,000-yard passing seasons. Kirk Cousins put up 3 consecutive. Jordan Reed, all-pro caliber tight end, Pro Bowl tight end, missed 10 games. Trent Williams, that all-pro tackle he was talking about, missed 6 games. That all-pro guard, Brandon Sheriff, missed 2 games. Chris Thompson, running back extraordinaire, missed 6 games. He took a team to Seattle, minus 4 starting offensive linemen, Jordan Reed, and won a game. Now, I've never seen in all my years of playing, Skip, and covering this game. So since 1990, started playing it and been covering ever since. So almost 30 years. I've never seen a team bet against a guy, hoping he failed, to justify them not giving him a long-term contract. Because that's what you do. When you franchise a guy, it's like dating. I'm dating you, but I ain't going to give you a key now. Let me know when you're coming over. I'll be there for you. But I ain't going to give you a key. 2 years go by. You ain't ready for that key just yet. And then you're going to say, hold on, wait a minute. Does he realize he's the coach of this team? Where is his culpability? Because it seems to me that he's placing all this at the feet of Kirk Cousins.
It came off that way.
That the reason that they're 7-9 was because of Kirk. Do you realize if you didn't Skip, if the Broncos had Kirk Cousins, I believe the Broncos would be a serious Super Bowl contending team. John Elway made it known we didn't get the kind of play at that position. We will address that in the offseason. Everybody, from all indications, Vance Joseph was going to be gone. But I know John Elway. I said he didn't give Vance a chance to win because you got to give him a quarterback. Give him a quarterback, and if it doesn't turn out any better than 5'11", then you could make a decision. Kirk Cousins was not the reason. And then you have Bruce Allen call the man Kurt.
On the team website, on a video posted on the team website. Kurt, and he did it. He didn't do it once. He did it to the whole
and he put emphasis on Kurt. And he wanted to make sure you know. He would. Oh, we offered Kurt the most money. And when you look at that little bit of money.
Well, no wonder he didn't take it. It was the wrong name.
Yeah, that wasn't even for him.
It's like, oh, this contract's not even for me.
He gonna try
Whatever this Kurt guy is.
He gonna try to cash that check, Joe. What if he took that check to the bank? Your name Kurt. His was Kurt. Skip, this is so. When the general manager, Bruce Allen, will say what he said, mispronounce the man's name, and then Jay Gruden get up there at his final press conference and say, I mean, he's heaping praises on guys into, all pro. The guy missed 6 games. Jordan Reed is special. Jordan Reed is the top 5 tight end when he's healthy. He missed 10 games. And because you kept franchising, guess what you couldn't do? You couldn't sign Deshaun Jackson. You couldn't re-sign Pierre Garçon. Skip. They need First Cousin, go on and lead it. Come on to Denver. You need to go somewhere where you're going to appreciate you, and I appreciate you in Denver.
And by the way, Kirk Cousins not only won at Seattle, he beat the Rams in Los Angeles.
Yes!
That's pretty good. I'll give him that. But the head coach says, I saw flashes from Kirk Cousins, and he says he's a very, very good quarterback, but as far as getting us over the hump, that is classic damning with faint praise.
Yes.
You are damning your quarterback with very faint backdoor praise, right?
But he did say, Skip, with all the injuries, he did compete his tail off to get us at 7-9. But to get us from 7-9 to division champ, I don't know. But when you just division champ a couple of go ahead, Skip. Go ahead.
So, I feel exactly about this situation as I do, and just told you about the Hall of Fame. You're either a Hall of Famer or you're not. You're either the Redskins' future or you're not. You have to fish or cut bait, right? This is it. This is your moment of truth here. You're going to franchise him again for $34.9 million?
Or you can transition him for 28.
Yeah, but if somebody matches, then you got a match.
Right.
Yeah. So that's not very good because I think somebody would offer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So to me, the GM and the head coach have made it very clear publicly that they just don't buy completely into Kirk Cousins.
Correct.
And to my point, I'm going to make it one more time, against the arch rival, and it's sort of like Michigan beating Ohio State. That's the game that people expect you to win. Kirk Cousins is now 1-6 against the Dallas Cowboys. It's not very good. He is 0-4 against the Cowboys at home. Dak Prescott is 4-0 against Kirk Cousins. Well, these are all bad signs because that's your arch rival. The one game you won against the Dallas Cowboys was against Kellen Moore. Mm-hmm. You lost to Matt Castle on a Monday night at home. These are the bad signs, and it's why they're not buying completely in. But they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, because they believe just enough in him that they're afraid to let him go because they're afraid he'll come back to haunt them with the Denver Broncos or whoever it is. And to me, if that's how you feel, you should have the courage of your convictions, and you should just cut bait.
Let it go.
Just let it go. Just go onward and upward. The way Jay Gruden talks about Colt McCoy, and I'm not making a joke about this, he talks about Colt McCoy more glowingly than he does about Kirk Cousins. And listen, Colt McCoy's not bad. He's not bad. By the way, in 2014, when the Cowboys went 12-4, Colt McCoy went to Dallas, went to Jerry World on a Monday night and beat them. Yeah. And beat the stuffing out of them. He was really good that night. But how would he wear over 16 games? I don't know.
Skip, Colt McCoy has had a very solid career.
Yep.
He's not a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry.
Yep. Okay, I just stand by what I said from the very start. Kirk Cousins, to me, is the underconfident overachiever who will always come up small when you least expect. When you need him the most, he won't be there for you. That's that guy. What was he, a fourth-round pick?
Yeah,
he's that guy. And again, that's what so if I ran the Redskins, I would just close my eyes and cut bait. I would go forward. But they don't have, there's not a young quarterback being in the wings. That means you're going to have to go forward with Colt McCoy next year, and you're going to have to go get a young quarterback.
Okay, you cut bait. Mm-hmm. You tell me the quarterback that's going to be available that's better than Kirk Cousins. You tell me the guy that you're going to go get in the draft that next year he will be better than what you're letting go.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go down the list. You know, there are 4, potential pretty good quarterback picks in that first round. Could one of them fall to Washington? They could.
Which one of them will throw for 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 4,000 yards next year?
You know what? If you could get Baker Mayfield, I think he'll be better than Kirk Cousins. I'm not sold completely on Baker Mayfield. I just think he's better than Kirk Cousins. That's what I believe.
Well, if he has Jordan Reed, yes. If he has Trent Williams for 16 games, yes. If he has Thompson for all the games and Sheriff for all the games, yeah. So what if Kirk Cousins had all those guys? You got to factor that in, Skip. He's losing an all-pro left tackle.
Yeah, I got it. No, I'm with you. I understand. And that's why this is such a hard choice for them. But clearly, they're not 1,000% sold.
They keep betting against. They keep betting, hoping. Because if he falls off a cliff, Skip, that's why we didn't give him the long. They want him to throw for 3,000 yards. Yeah. Have 25 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, and then we can justify moving on.
They do. They keep covering their bet.
Yes.
1 year at a time, and maybe he'll fall off the cliff, and we can say, we're okay now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, have some guts. Just say, we don't believe in him, and we're going to go forward. And then just let those chips fall.
Yeah.
Right?
They're trying to 2 bets.
Yeah.
Well, if I lose, I'm going to bet with the Cowboys. I'm going to bet against the. So that way, if you lose, you win your money back.
Yeah.
But you've accomplished nothing.
It's a very bizarre strategy.
It's ridiculous.
It's a very expensive, bizarre strategy.
Extremely expensive. And it's about to get really expensive.
So think about what you could have done, Skip. You could have just went ahead and gave him $60 million 3 years ago and been done with it.
Yeah.
But instead, you chose to give him $45 million over 2 years.
That was bad business.
Yes.
Yep. I agree with you. Well, you're either in the Hall of Fame or you're not. Which are you? Kirk Cousins or no?
And now he saw Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
just get $92 million.
He did.
With a year remaining. I'm totally free. And you think you about to get Kirk Cousins for 65? Somebody is about to back up the brink. Beep, beep, beep.
Okay.
Good
do
for
it.
him.
And somebody might be really
I'll over at the Broncos. Get him, John.